What does DettyDecember mean for KNF Couture? I think the best way for me to answer that question is say is busy.
Thank you so much for being here, KNF.
Thank you so much for having me. One thing I've learned is when it matters most, sometimes the universe wants you to prove that you can handle it. So I'd say one maybe that happened very recently. This is the reality we're working with is our operations person just said that he needs to leave without much notice or anything. And then this is December coming. So someone we've trained for the bulk of the year is now saying, oh, that something is coming up and he needs to go. And for a valid enough reason. So you can't take it personal, you can't keep a grudge with the person, and you can't waste your time thinking too much. It's not just you have to pick it up. Okay, I think I'll start by saying I'm a designer. Before I say, okay, I'm a fashion designer or something. So I was trained as an architect. I studied University of Lagos. So I have a master's in architecture. So that kind of formed my mindset. But aside from that, I've always been into crafts. So I learned shoemaking from a young age from my dad because my dad is into shoemaking, and I come from a family of people into handcrafts, entrepreneurship as a whole. So my dad's shoemaking business, a few of my grandparents were also into garmenting. So that's giving me a good background to be able to understand business. And then, so being in architecture school, I was trying to help my dad run his shoe business because he traveled for a while. And then I noticed people were really asking me about my outfits and not my shoes at that time. So I was like, you know what? I was having a conversation with my mom, and she was like, what if this is where it is? What if this is the idea? So don't give anyone the tailor's number, just say you're the tailor. So I learned the skills I need to use to at least start the business, and I learned on the job. So now we'll be running KNF Couture for 7 years. So we'll be 7 at the end of this December. So December is our birthday. What does December mean for KNF Couture? I think the best way for me to answer that question is say is busy. So it's busy in the sense that a lot of people are coming into Lagos in particular to celebrate the end of the year. So people have saved up for the entire year. Some people have anticipated concerts coming in December, parties coming in December, and wherever you're going to, you need to wear clothes. So I'd say the fashion industry is a huge contributor to DettyDecember in people need to go to weddings, people need to go for birthdays, people need to go for all sorts of owambe, celebratory events, family events, and then they need to sew clothes, and they need to sew it in a shorter period of time. So more people with more work in a shorter period of time. It's just generally busy. December orders start flooding in more around mid-November. So where we are right now is starting to get busy. Some people are already coming. They say, I just got back, batch A has already gotten back. So we're already starting to see a large number of orders from people who say, oh, I just got in. Can you take my measurements? Or, okay, I need an outfit for next tomorrow. Oh, December is coming, so let me place my order in now. Some people trying to avoid the rush would have even come from early November. So I say early to mid-November, and it goes down into December. Firstly, or rather, most importantly, prayer. Because you have to pray. I mean this in all sincerity, because you don't know what's coming. But aside that, also trying to prepare our staff, the entire team, all my colleagues, and helping understand that we don't disappoint customers. We've never done it before, and we're not going to start now. So it's not an excuse that maybe, okay, so there's not going to be electricity, or maybe the timeline is short. We agreed to deliver, so we're going to deliver. No stories. So we're just reinforcing the company culture that we deliver, and then also creating a barrier for safety. So aside our usual artisans, we're also taking on more people and helping them understand that we may need you, and to an extent we will need you. So just be ready, because as the work comes, we will need you. So I would say we've had a lot of crazy last minute orders. But I think I should say this story twofold, because one is more recent. This is what I'm telling you about. This December orders flooding in earlier, in November. So this happened earlier this month. So we just walked into our fabric vendor We were trying to buy a showcase. And then at the point, there was a lady there talking to the owner, saying, oh, they need 10 dashikis and they need it to be delivered in 24 hours. So I just walked in and the lady asked, oh, look at the tailor here, oh, can you deliver in 24 hours? And I was like, oh, how many? They said 10. So I took a deep breath. I just said to myself, this is what we've been waiting for. I mean, because we've already built our team to be able to cope with this type of order. So we agreed. It was a corporate thing, so they needed it for their office, and eventually ended up being like 6 or something. But even in that experience, we were supposed to deliver the next day. We eventually delivered, but it took a lot of supervision, took a lot of following up, a lot of calling. I was a little afraid. That's on one side. But this is me learning from a past experience, because something had happened maybe like 2 years prior, where we had even closed for the year. This was deep into December, and someone called and asked, oh, that they begged us to take the order. And I was like, okay, you know what, no problem. And then at that time, I'd gone to the beach, so I was enjoying my own DettyDecember. And based off of how I trained the team, I expected that the outfit was going to be ready. We were working with someone new. Based off a couple of excuses, it just wasn't being straightforward, and the outfit wasn't ready. And time was coming, and I really didn't know what to do. So I think that really tested me. So I had to run back there, I had to engage a new tailor later in the evening. So maybe that was around 7 p.m. I stayed with him. We eventually delivered that outfit maybe around 12 midnight. So it got to, this was a matter of no story. We couldn't get a dispatch rider, so we had to call an Uber. He had to go like from Ikoyi to First Act to deliver in the middle of the night, but we eventually delivered. So those are experiences that you go through. You wonder how you went through it, but most importantly, you learn. You learn and you see that, oh, I'm in business for real. You know, let me give you an analogy instead of giving an answer. So like, you know, when you're at an amusement park, you're on a roller coaster. You're on the roller coaster, there are a lot of ups and downs, but somehow you're enjoying it. I think that's the exact same way I would put doing business in Lagos, especially during December. You are going to see things. but most importantly, like you need to understand that that's just the journey. That's just where you are. So the real question is, are you going to pay the price? Like, are you serious about doing the business? Like, you know that there are ups, but these too shall pass, and there are downs, and these too shall also pass. But you are the constant here, so you need to stay.